Well, hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. My name is Mansa Queen, and in today's video, guys, we're going to have a sweet recipe, and I'm going to be sharing with you how I make my delicious, perfectly moist, and nutty pecan pound cake. This butter pecan pound cake is not dense at all. It is light, fluffy, and ooh, so moist. Without wasting much of your time, let's get started. Welcome back, friends. So we're starting off with what I have here is about 1.5 cups of pecans, and these are just the ones cut in half. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna find the chunks a little too big for me, so I'm gonna put it in my processor, my blender, and just pulse it a little bit. I just pulse it for a few seconds at a time, just to get them crushed a little bit more. And this is what it looks like. Perfect, just what I'm looking for. Not too fine, you just want to pulse this a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and toast this, and for that I am going to add here 2 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. Very important, unsalted butter in here. And then go ahead and just mix that all up. This process right here of toasting the pecans in butter is so important. It is going to build up all those flavors. Okay, so now I have my oven preheated at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm just spreading it on my baking tray. You want to spread it as much as possible so that they can all get nicely toasted in there. So now I am putting it in my oven, again 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and you want to do this for about 10 to 15 minutes, and make sure that you're opening your oven and toasting it about halfway out. And this is what it looks like 15 minutes later. It smells so good, so we're going to put that aside. Now let's start with our cake. Here I have 3 sticks of butter. I am using salted butter, and for that reason I did not use any extra salt in this recipe. Okay, so going in with my paddle attachment, I am going to cream this butter, make it as smooth as possible. Don't forget to always tap at some point and scrape down your beaters, and also scrape down the sides of your bowl. It just ensures that everything gets perfectly incorporated. Alright, so we're just gonna keep beating that butter until it is nice and smooth. And now here I have 2 cups of regular granulated white sugar, and I also have half a cup of dark brown sugar. This brown sugar is so important. Oh my god, it is so important. It is going to build up the flavor and also the color of this cake. Dark sugar pairs perfectly with cakes. So now I have gone ahead and beat my butter and sugar. As you can see, the color has changed. It is now very light. It is now time to add our eggs. I have 5 eggs, 5 large eggs at room temperature. So what I'm going to do here, while my mixer is running, I'm going to be adding 1 egg at a time, letting it beat for about 30 seconds before I add in the second one. So that's what I'm going to do here until all of the eggs are incorporated together with the butter and the sugar. If this is your first time on this channel, you are absolutely welcome. My name is Mansa, and I'm happy to have you on this team. So on this channel, I do a lot of baking hacks, baking videos, and just recipes in general. The purpose of this channel is to make cooking more enjoyable and less of a chore. So if that is something up your alley, please go ahead and hit on that subscribe button. I will be happy to have you here in subsequent videos. Okay, so now I have all the eggs in there, and now it is time to add in our dry ingredients. So in this bowl, I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour already sifted. Very important to get rid of any lumps. To that, I will be adding 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So those are my dry ingredients. Again, if you are using unsalted butter, this is the time you want to add in your butter, but I am using salted butter, so I did not add in any salt at all. So you simply want to get that incorporated, just whisk it around, get all of that dry ingredients together, and now we are going to start adding the flour mixture to our batter. So I am just going with about 1/3 of it, and I would put it in the mixer and make sure that it is also well incorporated first, and then our liquid. Here I have 1 cup of heavy whipping cream at room temperature. This heavy whipping cream is going to give us that light but very, very moist texture. Unlike buttermilk, buttermilk gives you more of a dense texture with a whole lot of moisture as well. So my choices just depend on what I'm looking for at the end. I want a very light, airy, but at the same time very rich and decadent butter pecan cake at the end. Okay, so now as you can see, I'm just alternating between the wet and the dry ingredients. Okay, another important ingredient you would need is sour cream. Here I have half a cup of sour cream. You guys, if you're baking banana bread and all of this type of bread and you add sour cream, you know the type of moisture and texture that you get from it. That's exactly what I'm trying to get. So half a cup of sour cream, also at room temperature, very important, so that all of our ingredients can mix easily. Okay, so now we get all of that incorporated. Now here is our toasted pecans. I'm going to be adding about 1 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, or maybe even half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. It's enough, and that will give us a lot of flavor. If you don't like nutmeg, you can use cinnamon. It works perfectly as well. All right, so now I have measured out 1 cup of this toasted pecans, and I'm adding it to my batter. Adding it at this point is so crucial because all you want to do is fold. After you added the nuts, you don't want to go ahead and beat it. You just want to fold it gently. And boy, let me tell you, this cake right here, take it from me, it is so delicious. Try it and let me know. Come back in the comment section. Okay, so now it is time to bake a pretty little cake. I am pouring in my batter in my pan. Okay, so this is a big baking pan. This is about a 14 to 16 cup pan, so it's actually very big. This makes quite a big cake, so you'll be happy to share with friends and family. All right, so I'm just using the back of a spoon to level out the batter as much as possible, and as usual, you want to pop it, drop it, release any extra air bubbles, and now we are ready to bake. By this time, my oven has already preheated to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. We are baking today for about 70 to 80 minutes. Okay, mine takes exactly 75 minutes with 325 degrees Fahrenheit. In the meantime, we're going to start off with a frosting. Here I have 8 ounces of cream cheese at room temperature, very important, and to that I'm adding half a stick of butter, which is 4 tablespoons of butter. I am using salted butter, so I'm not adding any salt. If you're using unsalted butter, you can go ahead and add a little bit of salt. And once we get that incorporated, I am going in with 1/4 cup of dark brown sugar. It is going to be so delicious for this recipe, the frosting as well as the cake. If you don't have dark brown, just go ahead and use the light sugar. It would not make any difference. Okay, so now to that I will be adding 2 cups of confectioner sugar already sifted to get rid of any lumps. And this makes a really simple but delicious frosting for a perfect butter pecan cake. Okay, so now I'm going in with my hand mixer, and you want to beat this until it is nice and airy and very, very fluffy. Okay, you're going in for a very light texture, and this is what it's gonna look like right here. Can you see that? Now to flavor this, I am going in with half a teaspoon of almond extract. Very delicious, because I mean it's a nutty cake, so it works perfectly. And also half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Feel free to use any extras of your choice, but these two, trust me, they're gonna work perfectly. Match made in heaven. So just go ahead and beat that, and I'll put this in the refrigerator while my cake is cooling down. Okay, now this is the leftover half a cup of pecans. So the last thing you want to do is add it to your frosting that you had just made. Just simply fold it, and boy, it just adds that extra layer of that pecan. And remember, this was the pecan that we had already toasted in the oven with some butter. Talk about flavors, guys. Now I know you're enjoying this video. If you were, please support your girl. It is free. Just hit that thumbs up, that like button. It really helps my channel out, and it also motivates me to do more. But trust me, a lot goes on behind the scenes before you get this pretty video. So give your girl a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Now my cake is out of the oven. Guys, it is nice and hot, and look at that beautiful golden brown color that we got going on. So we're going to let this cake cool down all the way to room temperature. Make sure you invert it about 15 minutes later. And now my cake is down to room temperature, and this is my frosting. fresh out of the refrigerator. I just like to leave it in the refrigerator so that it just would not get too warm in my house while I wait for the cake to cool down, and it also gets it a little thicker and easier to work with when you're frosting. So go ahead and be generous. Frost that cake to your heart desires. Don't hold back, okay? I'm just going in with my offset spatula and just frosting this cake. And I also want to thank you guys for all the recipe suggestions I've been getting. I've been getting quite a bit in my comment section, and I'm loving it. All right, so this is a finished product, guys. You know what? Let's go in and cut this cake. I always want to cut into the cake and show you what we're working with. We want to see the inside of this cake and the texture as well. Look at how beautiful that is. Boy, let me tell you, I shared this cake with 2 of my friends, and they loved it so much. It has the right amount of sweetness. The nuts, just if you're a fan of pecans, you will definitely love this cake. That is a must. Look at how it is. It is not dense at all. It is that crumbed texture that it has, the crumbly texture. I love it, and it is so airy at the same time for a pound cake, not dense at all because of that heavy whipping cream that we use. Delicious. The glaze works perfectly for this cake as well. Can you check out that crumbly texture and how moist this is? You know what? Just give it a try. If you're not allergic to pecans, give this a try and let me know what you think about this recipe in the comment section below. I have a lot of people that always want to hear from people that actually tried the recipe. So that feedback goes a long way in not just helping me, but also helping other viewers on this channel. This is a finished product, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in my next one. And until then, y'all stay safe. I love you all. Bye.